East, the NFC East podcast. I'm your host, Sean Gnitzcavich. The Giants still have the number 1 overall pick because we freaking suck. The Commanders still suck, but they beat a shitty team in the Giants. And the Eagles finally won, but it was against the terrible Raiders, but it looked good. And the Cowboys are probably eliminated from the playoffs. Jeremy Goode, what is good?
Eagles are back in the win column. Washington, bad. Dallas, laughable. Like I try to tell everybody every week, but no one listens. And the Giants need a new quarterback, it looks like. So everything's just great with me.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeremy. You made that joke pre-recording that
yes.
The Giants with the number 1 overall pick should be evaluating the quarterback position, and I think that is bogus. I don't know what all this talk about Jackson Dart. You know, I get it. He's been evaluated for a concussion in 5 out of the 10 games he's started. Not to mention the preseason game where he had that concussion and he did the really cool, like, oh, come on, hurry up. But this game, if you watched it, and I remember watching it, I was like, okay, yeah, designed run. He gets tackled. That's normal. It's a designed run. But there was no like head contact. It was just a normal tackle. It didn't look bad. And then they have to take him out while we're on the goal line. Our most important player, who got us to the goal line, who's still playing, I think, like a great starting quarterback. I think because the Giants haven't won in like 10 games, and because there's all this, you know, he gets hit by Christian Ellis, which is just a normal play that you get hit by. They take him out of the game, and he didn't need to go out of the game. Even Jackson Dart was like, I don't know why I had to go out of the game. Like, it's getting to the point where I think that there's a narrative, so these refs try to play it extra safe because he's in a huge market in New York, and we're playing football here, you know? Like, there's no reason. Like, T. Higgins got knocked out like 3 times coming back from a concussion, and they were like, yeah, just keep playing, buddy. But Jackson Dart gets tackled on a normal play, on a quarterback-designed run, and needs to be taken out during a goal line drive. So, yeah, not the biggest fan of it, Jeremy. But yeah, I think there's a narrative, and I've even listened to people that are like, oh, dude, Jackson Dart's have to be playing in the league if he keeps playing like this. Like, I watched the whole game. Like, he slid, by the way, a bunch of times, you know, and he's good with his legs. I mean, he's good with his arms, too, but, like, you know, he's a young quarterback. You got to let him use his legs. That's what helps these young mobile quarterbacks develop, in my opinion. So, honestly, I'd be more concerned with Jaden Daniels running than Jackson Dart's running, to be fair. But you have an opinion on this, so let's hear it, Jeremy.
Well, there's a few things that you have to consider for the Giants. One, they're in the situation again. If they do have the first pick, 5-10%, you have to consider looking at the quarterbacks that are in the draft because you have pick of the top quarterbacks again going into this year. And if you see someone who's a lot better than Dart, you absolutely have to consider it. It's too logical on that, and then you can get rid of Dart or whatever. The second thing, though, injury-wise, I'm concerned. The concussion thing, whatever, he's just a reckless player. Obviously, I think he'll learn from it, but he has been way too experimental in what he can do with his body and running the ball. I'm not saying get rid of running the ball. In fact, he has to run the ball somehow because his arm isn't good enough to just be a pocket passer. You look at his stats.
The stats are fine.
So throwing the football wise, his stats are fine. Not counting the garbage time touchdown with 3 minutes left in last week's game. And stuff like that. You think that he's a solidified passer?
That wasn't a garbage time touchdown. That was a
garbage time touchdown.
No.
It was a 15-point game with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, that wasn't that wasn't garbage time. I mean, that was.
It's garbage to me.
We were coming back.
They were down 2 scores.
We were in it the whole time. Yeah, but okay. We had it the whole time. I wouldn't put that on Jackson Dart. I would put that on the team as a whole. You know,
what?
Jackson Dart, he made the play. You know, he ended up making the play. And I think he would have had a touchdown earlier on that goal line drive if he didn't have to come in for the 4th down after missing 3 plays, which kind of threw him off his rhythm, you know? So
we don't know. I mean, we don't know that. It was also fourth down. It's anything can happen on that play too. But maybe he should not put himself in positions where he's coming out of the game.
I think that was bogus. That's my argument. Is that I don't think he did not need to come out of the game. If you watch that play, you don't think, oh man, he needs to be evaluated right now. It looked like just a normal. What I don't like is the play call because come on, dude, the quarterback design run. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, that's true.
That's worked before, but on the goal line, Mike Kafka, I think is gone. I mean, that was already kind of
unfair for him in a way. Not that Kafka's good, but the fact that they thought that Kafka could save a little bit of something and show something, but not really believe in him totally, and not really have the job was never going to be his anyway. Kind of unfair. I get it though. Kafka's not good, but just set him up to fail with false expectations. But yeah, listen, we'll see. Giants are in an interesting situation. End of the year, only won 2 games. Won't be the new shiny toy next year as a second-year player. So we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, it seems like Joe Schoen is probably gone. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired even, hopefully before the end of the season. So that way we can start looking for a new GM too, because I think he's gone. There's nothing that he can really do. There's players that could get early extensions right now too, which I think everything needs to be reevaluated with a new head coach and a new GM. But this is an NFC East podcast, but I am obviously the resident Giants fan, so I could talk about this Giants all. And I think because this season's been over, I'm already in deep analysis. I'm still watching the games. I'm watching it because of Jackson Dart. I'm watching because of Abdul Carter. There's still a lot of pieces that I really love. And Jackson Dart, there's no way. I don't think there's any Giants fan that has actually watched the games this season that thinks that Jackson Dart isn't the guy moving forward. At least, you saw how the Bears traded that number 1 pick to the Panthers when they had Justin Fields. And Justin Fields then was still, I think he was 3 years into his career, so they were still being evaluated. And then they lucked into getting the number 1 pick again, and Caleb Williams was a generational talent. But Bryce Young had question marks. Flipping Fernando Mendoza, as much as I love his post-game interviews, is not somebody who I think that with the amount of holes that we already have on the team. I know Jets fans are even saying, even though they need a quarterback and they got all these picks, they don't want to trade up for Fernando right now. They'd rather use these picks to fill their other holes because they're more than just a quarterback away.
Well,
this is the closest we have with a quarterback. And I think Jackson Dart. You saw what he's done for this team. He's galvanized his team. I think that he has a good command. I think that with a new play caller, somebody that's fresh and utilizes his skills, just like Brian Daboll did earlier in the year. I don't know. I feel good. And, you have to also factor in, he's missing his number 1 target in Malik Neighbors. He's missing, a good running back duo who produce with him and Cam Scadaboo. They're missing a lot of their big pieces. And not to mention, dude, Darius Slayton, if you watch that game, had some huge drops. There was multiple touchdowns that are unexcusable from Darius Slayton that Jackson Dart put in the great position. And then the interception to Mikey Sanders still, I watched Brian Baldinger break that down. And Jalen Hyatt, again, that was a throw to Jalen Hyatt. I think a third of the interceptions that have come from the Giants this year, I think we have 10 in a year or whatever, but 3 out of those 10 were on Jalen Hyatt pass attempts. Because Jalen Hyatt just, if you watch the route that he ran, he rounds out this in route. That was actually the right decision based on what Jalen Hyatt looked like he was going to have, and then doesn't run the route correctly, doesn't crisp it up, and also he doesn't attack. Jalen Hyatt was right there. He had an opportunity to make that catch, but he doesn't fight through the contact to make the catch. He sucks. I was just talking to somebody. They're like, I think Jalen Hyatt's going to be good with a new coach. I'm like, no, he's not, because he's had these opportunities. He's been in the league now for 3 years. I've given up on Jalen Hyatt. I guess season's lost, so give him a couple more opportunities. But plays like that just makes me want to just cut him. Maybe we can get a 7th, 6th round pick for him in the offseason, which another reason why Joe Schoen should be fired. Jalen Hyatt wasn't seeing the field. Sounds like people wanted him. Just get a 6th or 7th for him because he's not good on the roster. But that's my little rant about the Giants. How do you feel about that, Jeremy?
I get it. I don't know. I feel like I always think you could get something for a player who is still in their first contract, who has potential, coming out of college. Hyatt might be a little too far gone. It might just be a guy that you cut.
Yeah.
But even if you cut, like, again, like I've always said, cutting bad players is even if you don't get anything for them, is a plus. You just get better. Those players make you lose. It's not only that they don't contribute to winning, they contribute to losing. And if you don't have those guys on the team, they can't hurt you. So we'll see. I still think maybe he could get you a pick, just because of the deep route, just because of the Tennessee days. Maybe I think a change of scenery probably would help him too. Add in that as well. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, this Giants team needs a lot more talent on offense for sure. Defensively, I think they need more talent, even though they have a few more pieces, and some pieces that just are disappointing. I'd move on from Thibodeau, a guy you won't have to pay either, which I think is a plus for the Giants. So, yeah, it's another year where you scrap, you get more data from your squad, and you sort of, move on from. I think you got a good idea of what Thibodeau really is this year, which is nice. Last year, I thought he was pretty decent for what it's worth, give or take. This year, I mean, you're figuring things out year by year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another, L on the Joe Shane train, because Kayvon Thibodeau was commanding a lot of trade interest. And I thought we were, even though we only had 2 wins going into the trade deadline, the Giants thought, we would be trading for a receiver because they thought that we could still compete, and I did too. I'm an optimist. I realize now they just keep hurting me and hurting me and hurting me and hurting me. But Kayvon Thibodeau was gaining a bunch. I think there was probably trades for him for a second or for a third.
Wow.
And I know that we have him next year on the fifth year option. And I like Kayvon, but now he's been hurt with his shoulder, and he's been hurt throughout his career too. He's had these stretches. And I love Kayvon. I was super optimistic about Kayvon, but I think that was a time to move, especially with the other holes on the defense. We do have 2 premier edge rushers already, and it's a luxury to have a third. And I was a big fan of having the third, having them rotate, having all 3 on the field for certain packages. But now I'm getting to the point, especially with not seeing Kayvon Thibodeau out in the field again. It's why would we pay him when we already have 2 good? I think we should have traded him then. I think we could still trade him in the offseason for a second or a third, or for a good player in return.
There's more competition.
We'll see what happens there.
There's more competition in the offseason. That's why the deadline is kind of nice for teams to get rid of guys. A few notes on this. If you were offered a second for Kayvon Thibodeau, you should have given him up, just because that's a great pick. And like you said, you guys are so deep on the defensive line. It wouldn't have hurt. I don't think it would have hurt. Depth-wise, it doesn't hurt. I think the issue with the Giants is there are too many bodies on the defensive line that you can't really play at once for a lot of the snaps. That's an issue. I think the 5th-year option for Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be expensive too. Not that it's awful. It's it's the average.
It's a decent deal. Yeah.
But it's expensive for a player who isn't that productive, that you don't that's not a star. I never mind the 5th-year option because it always gives you 1 more year. It's only a 1-year contract, so it doesn't hurt you going forward. But if the player isn't anywhere close to being top 5, which is the average, that's how you get the 5th-year option in how much money per year they get. That's sort of where you lose a lot of value with those kind of players. I try to trade him in the offseason, get a third, move on. I thought he was going to be good coming out of college, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it is sad. Let's be real. When we came out of that draft, the first year of Joe Shane drafting, Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau, there was times in that pre-draft era where Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal were both ranked as the number 1 overall pick, and they both suck. Evan Neal, actually, his practice window just got opened up, and in the past, I used to be you know what, let's just put him out there. He's not going to be a Giant next year. He has 3 more games to potentially be a Giant. he hasn't proved anything. I used to be like, throw him out there, but I don't even think you throw him out there because if he's going to risk Jackson Dart getting hurt while Jackson Dart's out there, it's not worth it. I'd rather just make sure that Jackson Dart is safe and is healthy going in. It's, in that way we can evaluate him. Because one of the pluses is that the Giants actually have like a decent O-line. I think we're ranked like 10th overall and like total O-line efficiency. Andrew Thomas, by the way, is like ranked in like first or second in every single positive stat as a tackle this year, or an O-lineman, and so he should be getting all-pro. Like I know it sucks because when you have a shitty team, I feel like you get overlooked. But we do have great players, and they deserve to have their flowers because playing on a miserable team where you have nothing else going for you, at least you should be awarded for your personal, personal production.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for guys like Thomas because it's just kind of a statless position, even though we have so many advanced analytics now that can measure offensive lineman play, can measure secondary play that's not just interceptions and whatnot. I think for guys like Myles Garrett, who are playing on awful teams like the Browns, but who have the stats, who's going to get the most stats in a season, the sack record, thank you, better wording. That's just easy. That's easier to measure than what Andrew Thomas does, even if he's playing at an elite level. Unfortunate, nonetheless. But yeah, there are pieces in New York. I thought the pieces were a little better coming in, especially on defense. That's where I thought they were going to be I thought they could be the 7th to 12th defense in the NFL this year, and maybe that was a little wishful thinking, but I'm surprised how the run was all like. It's just weird. It's just weird how you think that the defensive line would be the strength with all that talent, and it never kind of like meshed together, and odd.
I think. Well, first off, Dexter Lawrence having somewhat of a down year. Also, our defensive tackle depth is behind Dexter Lawrence is not designed for stopping the run. Like Darius Alexander, I love him, and he's been great. He's actually been getting some sacks, like at the top of the third. Some people had him in the second. Somebody I know picked him in the first round in one of our mock drafts, but which is fair. I mean, he had a lot of like. Good
I liked him.
I like him too, but he's not really good at defending the run. Like we need some run stuffers. Like there's some great D linemen coming up in this next draft, and also some that we were looking at going into last year's draft that I think would be good pieces on the D line because like we have those edge rushers. You know what I'm saying? Like so I think it was almost a little greedy to get a pass rush defensive tackle when we really need like a run defending defensive tackle. And I think our linebacker Micah McFadden getting injured early, like I think that's huge. I think that Javon Holland has not been playing up to the contract that we gave him. I should have just paid Xavier McKinney, but whatever. Tyler Nubin has not been living up to the second-round safety who had all this hype, the number one safety in that draft, hasn't been living up to that. Obviously, Deontay Banks is unplayable at the corner. Cordell Flott has at least been okay. And Paulson Adebo, who we thought would be a pretty decent corner addition, has missed half the games and also is, he's mid. And he was kind of mid. Like, he had some upside. But he was supposed to, he had like 4 interceptions in his limited play last season, and I think he might have 1 this year. But so it's and even Drew Phillips too, who was like one of our bright spots at the nickel. He had a sick, pass breakup in last game against the Commanders, but he's also just kind of been, 50-50.
Yeah.
He had a good rookie year, so you always think like, oh, these guys overperform, but it's more like, okay, maybe they'll regress to the mean. Obviously, they're going to develop, but I think it was a lot more disappointment. Like you have these people on paper, just like I know that's the reason that's wrong with the Cowboys defense too. Like you're like, okay, Trayvon Diggs is back. Trayvon Diggs is ass now.
Yep.
Maybe he got knocked out by a stripper pole. I don't know, but he's not playing, which isn't good. Maybe we'll never play for the Cowboys again. Deron Bland comes back and he's okay. Siobhan Revell was like a high drafted rookie corner who was supposed to go even higher, but dealt with injuries. So now he's coming off of injuries, and also is a rookie, so like can't really count on him. And then their linebackers have kind of been disappointing. Obviously, got Overshown back, and he's been playing pretty solid since he's been back. And then you get rid of Micah Parsons, who tore his ACL, which is crazy. It's probably a lose-lose for both of them. but you get rid of Micah Parsons, and then you focus on stopping the run. But now you have one of the worst passing like the most passing touchdowns allowed in the league through 15 weeks, and passing yards are allowed. I think are in the top 3 worst. You know, and that's because you don't have the edge rushers, which help your bad secondary at least get some pressure on the quarterback.
Levels.
And I also think that Matt Eberflus is just garbo.
Awful.
Just so bad. I mean, if you look at the stats,
I assume they're going to fire him. I hope they don't. I hope they give him
100%.
another year. I don't know why they
me
would,
too.
but
Give him an opportunity.
he is so awful.
Yeah, maybe fire Eberflus and Schottenheimer and just hire Jonathan Gannon. I think that's a good idea, right?
Gannon will be available in the offseason, so yes. It's also kind of Dallas's fault because they traded Micah in the first place. That was stupid. That was such a stupid trade. But I digress. I don't. These teams. But to your point, like what you were saying earlier, Sean, you're right. You don't know how these teams are going to fare year in, year out. They might be good one year. I know we saw it with the Giants with that Daniel Jones year, and there are other teams too that I'll mention. I'm not going to single any of them out. The year after they made the playoffs, it was downhill. It's tough to maintain success in the NFL. Washington last year, they looked great. They looked amazing. Even though they weren't beating teams by a lot, they still were adding up wins. They still got to the NFC Championship game. After Daniels' rookie season ended, where do we go from here? It's year 2. The honeymoon's over. There's their expectations now. You're not just playing with house money. Hasn't aged well for Washington, also because they made awful decisions in the offseason. But more so, there's other reasons too. It's tough. It's the NFL. It is tough to win in the NFL, regardless of who you are. They say it all the time. They're right. So here we are. I mean, I think the Giants intriguing job for whoever is the new head coach. Won't be Kafka. I do like that Kafka had a backbone in one Abdul Carter. That's kind of nice. But we'll see.
That was nice. And you know what? After swearing a whole bunch on Hard Knocks 2 episodes ago, which by the way, I think we discussed this. The season has been so miserable for me.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really. I think I need to take a look. I'm living it. I'm paying attention. I'm Googling the Giants every 5 minutes. I'm already in there. I still see some of the highlight clips, but it is hard to watch it. As a diehard fan who gets so stoked and then watches the team crumble and collapse, and just watching the Hard Knocks, I feel like it's just even more painful. Although I did see a lot of the clips, and Kafka does not look like a leader of men. What they're looking for. Nobody seemed galvanized, no matter how many times he swore. And I don't know what's up with coaches swearing that don't seem like they should be swearing. Like the Todd Bowles loss, that was just. It's hearing your little cousin swear and they put the F words at the wrong place in the sentence, so it loses effectiveness and kind of changes everything. That's how it feels. It's you know what? I know you're trying to be cool, but it's it's not working. A proper fuck in the right place is okay, but
nothing like it. We've seen Kafka. This isn't. We've seen Kafka as a backup quarterback in the NFL. We saw him in Philadelphia. It wasn't very good. Not to say that doesn't mean he wouldn't be a very good coach. I'm just saying, just wanted to note that. But obviously, he's been around the game a lot. I definitely think he understands the quarterback position to a great effect at the very. So I think he knows a lot about football. I think all these guys know a lot about football for sure. Yeah. But he. I think he'll have to find another team, another assistant role for him next year. And that's very doable. Teams love recycling guys, especially guys who are interims. That'll help his career, I think, too. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it is, and he helped develop a bunch of quarterbacks. I know that the Seahawks really wanted him, and I feel like Clint Kubiak will probably find a job this year. I think there's going to be more openings than we initially thought. I think Cardinals gone, Titans obviously already gone.
Yep.
Pete Carroll's going to be gone. Kevin Stefanski might be gone.
Maybe, yeah.
John Harbaugh for the Ravens?
I don't think so. They love to hold on to head coaches regardless. and he's had so much success. But this year, this is a year where you could I think legitimately say, hey, maybe we should move on from the Harbaugh experiment. But sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mike Tomlin was about to be fired 2 weeks ago, and then he just won 2 weeks in a row. So it's like that. I mean, that would be crazy if Mike Tomlin was free. But
It'd
also,
be interesting.
I mean, Zach Taylor's going to be gone, and I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
I still think even if the Bengals job, I'm trying to think because all the teams that we listed, I don't think Arizona's a better opportunity than Giants. Titans definitely no. Raiders no. I think the Jets are keeping Aaron Glenn. Give him the 1 year. I'd say Bengals is the only team that might become available, or the Ravens, but I don't.
Right.
I think the Bengals is the only team that might be a better opportunity for one of these coaches because they have a better foundation with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, but also the O line has more questions, I think, and the defense has just been.
Yeah, but there's the Bengals. I mean, you have a top 5 quarterback that you're walking into, especially for someone like Kubiak, who is such an a whiz with the offense. He's looking at that. He goes, I have a top 5 quarterback. I have the number 1 receiver. I have a top 10, top 12, 15 receiver to go next to him and T. Yeah, we'll figure out the O-line. We can do that. Our defense sucks. We'll figure that out too. Yeah, they are definitely the prime spot. I guess Giants would be second because they have pieces for sure, and everybody else is just the Raiders are so awful, and all those teams are so awful. But there are a lot of openings. Yeah, that was a good breakdown that you did. There are a lot more openings than I think, and wow, if you're not first, you're last in a way, and a lot of these teams are. If they're not first, they're last, and they're 10 feet under. So, yeah. Yeah,
and I think, I feel like Dan Quinn's going to be safe. I don't think that the Commanders get rid of Dan Quinn, despite a very disappointing year 2.
I would agree. I think that's another team that maybe they do. But I agree that I don't think he will. I just wouldn't. I'd be a little surprised if it happened. I wouldn't be totally surprised. I'll just say that.
No, I don't think so either. I think that, honestly, I think their GM, what was his, Adam Peters. I think that, honestly, he's done more of a questionable job.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that they didn't invest enough in younger talent in this offseason. And also, their draft picks have not hit real. I'll tell you what, I've been talking crap about how Ben Sinnott hasn't done anything. I think he only had 4 catches going in the game, and then he went off on multiple against the Giants.
Right.
That's awesome. And I've been talking garbage about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah, he had a nice game too. Yeah,
he had a great game, dude. Oh, dude. Just everybody who I was talking smack about. Oh, Mikey Sanders still kind of lost a step. Gets a frickin' interception. Oh, their D line's complete garbage. Javon Kinlaw, that was a terrible signing. Forces a fumble. It's just it was and Von Miller had a nice sack too, which I was he's so old, but he just and he had some good pressures too. And then Jalen Lane, who actually I think I've been pretty supportive of.
Yeah, he's a nice little player.
Yeah, he had a nice punt return, and not the first time this season. I think that's at least the second.
Yeah,
he's been good for them, but other than what I'm trying to say is I think they whiffed on some of the rebuilding, and we've been talking about this oldest roster in the league, which I get if you think that you're ready, you get these discounted older players, but then when you whiff on almost all of them, and the season becomes a loss.
Yeah,
these players aren't going to be a part of your future, and now you don't have younger players that have been growing and developing for maybe next year when you could maybe bounce back and have a playoff run. So I think it sounds good in the off season, and now after it looks like a failure, it's right. And Zach Ertz, who's been probably one of your best bargain elders, might never play again after that terrible ACL knee hit. It was which sucks, dude. Zach Ertz is awesome, even though he knocked me out of the playoffs in fantasy because he decided to have his best game the week before he went out with that injury. At least he had a great game prior to that, but it's still sad nonetheless.
Yeah, I think what I've been trying to say about Washington too is they went old and they spent money old. What I'm trying to say about Deebo Samuel, he's a good player still, but he's making, I think, $30 million a year, if I'm not wrong. And that's just too much. Like, you want to go younger at that position, and if you do spend money at that position, you want to get someone who's a better player than Debo and someone who's younger too that can grow with you. Washington. I agree. Peters didn't do a good job. It's weird because he came from San Francisco, and they've always done a good job there. And he sort of just like left that behind. So I'm not sure what Washington's doing. They need help. They are big question mark going to next year, which is crazy because it shouldn't be this way. But here we are with them, and it's legitimate.
Yeah, and on top of that, because of all of these older players that they signed that probably won't be back next year. I don't know which. I'm assuming they'll probably a handful of them if they don't retire, they'll hold on to. But like, they're going to have a bunch of holes. Like, they already had the holes because these older players have not been what, they've been like what they did pay for. They paid for this discounted player who thought they were joining a team that could make a run and instead missed heavily. Von Miller is talking about how he wishes he signed up with the Seahawks, which was the other team that was, pursuing him.
Right.
He went to the wrong Washington. He went to Washington, D.C. and not Washington.
Well, Seattle, that team in Washington State has a great defense, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I can't speak for them. I guess I don't think they want older guys who are slow. Like, the reason why Seattle's defense is so good, the reason why you don't sign older players is because they are a lot slower. And you can't do anything with slow players on defense, can't do anything on offense, but maybe you can, like, work around it with schemes and whatnot. Defensively, if you're slow, you are not winning a Super Bowl. I've seen it hundreds of times with the Eagles' defense when they've had decent offenses and playoff-worthy teams, but their defense is too slow, doesn't work. So I don't even know, even if the Seahawks were interested, they touched a bullet there because it's not worth getting older players on defense. They just slow you down. We saw it with the Washington game, I think, last year against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. The older guys looked slow, and they weren't able to keep up. So I think 55 points. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's not Madden. I think, like,
right.
When you're a GM, you see this, like, I could get this guy at this rate, and like, maybe they have a good overall in Madden because, like, you want to be respectful to their careers of past.
Yes.
But in real life, man, there's a reason why they're going like this. And, it sounds good in the off season. And it's not even just the older players. You get these discounted like failures of first round picks, and you get excited for them. Yeah. Even though like we have these failures of first round picks, like the Giants, and I'm sure that I can't think of one off the top of my head for the Eagles, but I know it's
Rager. I mean, not recently, but guys like Rager. And he's a guy. That's a good example too that you just mentioned. Like Rager is a guy who has somehow made a career with different teams. Who shouldn't be in the NFL, but just because of where he was drafted. Yeah, you're right. Who continues to get picked up by teams. Minnesota, New England,
Andre Dillard,
Chargers. Dillard, yep. Guys who elongate their careers because of draft position. It makes sense sometimes, but, sheesh.
No, but they usually suck. Like Isaiah Simmons. Like, I got excited about him. He made some fun plays. But then, he goes to the Packers. I'm like, maybe he'll find success in the Packers. No, he literally got cut because he didn't even know what to be doing on the defense. So, the flaws that come up, after their high prestige draft slot or whatever, which, I mean, I know I'm already in the draft. I know it's way too early to really be talking about it, but, I know the Commanders might be looking at a guy like Caleb Downs. I know the Cowboys, whose secondary is ass, might be looking at a guy like Caleb Downs. So the Giants might be. And, I know that maybe Caleb Downs is one of the best safeties we've seen and one of the best players in general we've seen on the defensive side. It's just like, you've seen these high drafted safeties not work out, but then you've also seen them fall in the draft and be amazing. And
we've also seen these high rated safeties get drafted high, and it works out for them. They're very good, but it doesn't work out for the team as a whole because the team still goes 4-13. But they're still getting great play from their safety. And that's the one position where I think is so, I don't want to say least important, but least significant to a high functioning defense. a great safety. But, hybrids can change the defense too. So, but yeah.
You know what? I think we've been talking a lot about how all these teams who the season is lost. I mean, Cowboys, your season is lost. I think it needs to be your Eagles need to lose out and the Cowboys need to win out. And
right. 1%
I
chance.
I don't feel great about that. Unfortunately, 9 put 3 touchdowns on you, and the Vikings made you look like Garbo.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. Right when I thought maybe Dallas had a chance, they do not. But you want to know what's actually really cool is and I think they did this on purpose because of the Hard Knocks, which I know that they used to say the schedule is randomly scheduled. No, it's not. You guys had no, you guys put this schedule together because of views. This is all an entertaining thing. But the fact that we're on in-season Hard Knocks, and I think we have an NFC East matchup for the next 4 remaining games. At least somebody's playing another NFC team, which is
we play Washington twice.
Yeah, and then the Giants play the Cowboys. The Cowboys play the Commanders next.
Washington plays Dallas, I think, again.
Yeah, next.
Right.
I think it's next.
Well, we play Washington next, this week.
Oh,
and then I think it's Washington, Dallas. Yeah, something's what? Yeah.
Yeah, then it's Washington, Dallas in 2 weeks,
Okay.
and then the Cowboys, Giants. So I mean, it's they set this up to have these awesome which is cool. And honestly, I am gonna tune into to the Hard Knocks eventually. Maybe catch up with it. But right now, I'm living it in real time, and
it's tough.
Seeing it twice. It's like getting punched in the face twice. But one thing I do want to note is Dan Quinn, man. Dan Quinn, if you did see the clip from Hard Knocks, was we got to hit Jackson Dart. We got to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in a run, we got to hit him hard. And I'm okay, sick. He's talking about headhunting our quarterback. So you know what? We won't see you until next year. But if Dan Quinn, if you're still around, which I hope you are, Jackson Dart's gonna give it to you, man. He's gonna get. And guess what? Jaden Daniels, he's also somebody who can be very hit. I mean, the Giants actually injured him last year when we hit him hard, and he had that rib injury that stuck around and lingered.
Daniels and Dart are probably similar in fragileness, honestly. So yeah.
No. Dart's he's a little sturdier. He's a little thicker.
Yeah, I agree he's thicker, but he still gets hurt at a high rate. He's just small. He's just a smaller guy. It's not
It's not huge. He's not.
It's not a critique against him. It's just the way it is, right?
Yeah. We can talk about your Eagles though. The one team that still has.
They won.
Yeah.
They smacked Oakland. They smacked Las Vegas. Vegas didn't want to be there. They are a dome team. They are the worst team ever. They got off the bus. It was snowing in Philadelphia. They said, "Why us?" I feel bad for Max Crosby. He cares. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He is playing with bums around him. Devin White, awful. The clip with him yelling at Devin White out. Some of those efforts. That second touchdown Goddard had towards the end, where he just kind of walked in at the end, was such awful effort by the defense. Goddard had the ball for a long time too. It should have been at least tackled around the line of scrimmage. I don't know how he got through. My point is, the Raiders are awful. The Eagles did what they had to, which is great. Jalen had a great, efficient game. They ran the ball decently. It wasn't great, but they stuck with it, and that counts for a lot in my book because it helped, solidify the game. They then bled 12 minutes at the end of the game just running the ball, which was nice. It got Jalen out of the game. Offense looked good. Defense was great. Again, you're playing the Raiders, but it's hard to shut out a team in the NFL. I know you know that, Sean. It's close to impossible, honestly, in this day and age. They held them to 70. They held them to 72 yards, which is even crazier. It's nice. It's good that they rose to the occasion. It's also the Raiders. It's a weird balance. I give them credit, though. They needed the win. I think that they need to dominate, even though I'm not a big style points guy. It was still nice to see. They could have scored more. Yeah, I think
I know
too.
The moral victories, but some people talk about rejuvenating the team during a bye week.
Yeah.
I feel like playing the Raiders and just balling out and doing everything that people said that you can't do. It's just a good confidence boost, even though it is the Raiders.
I agree with
think
that.
It is.
Totally.
I think it gets everybody get right. I mean, this is a get right game. I know not everybody believes in them, but I think this. We'll see. We'll see how it goes next week.
We'll see. Exactly. Yes, definitely a confidence boost. Regardless, I agree with that. The reason why I don't love style points is because if you played worse against, let's say you beat the Raiders 27-13. 24-13, and it wasn't as convincing, obviously. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to smack other teams down the road. It's just it's tough because you go week by week and you're like, all right, this week we have to run the ball really well, and if you don't, I'm concerned. But then they can run the ball really well another. So yeah, you're right. It was good to see them smack down a bad team like that, play solid football all around, every level, reduce penalties. Yeah, it was good. I think it'll translate into the Washington game where they'll wrap up the division, but they really needed that Raiders game to happen where it did. Yeah. It did, of course. Bad teams throwing everybody's schedules. It is what it is. I don't fault the Eagles. I think people are getting a little down where they're like, yeah, the Raiders are really bad, but it's like everybody played the Raiders in our division. I think Dallas did, Washington did. You guys did. You're playing them.
We're playing them in 2 weeks. Yeah.
That'll
Which
be.
I was going to go to that game because I thought it'd be fun for Vegas.
Well, it'll be a win for you guys. So
we'll see, man. That is a huge game. That is the.
You're right. That's interesting. Game. Right. They. God. I think they're going to be extra motivated too. They're such a bad team, but Eagles did what they had to. Good to see. Yeah. They really dominated in the right ways too, which is, yeah, like you said, you have to see it. You want to see it for confidence. You don't put too much weight into it, but overall, yeah, what you saw is perfectly satisfying.
That's exactly what you want. It's exactly, you kind of chalk it up for a win before, and if you lose that game, or if it's even competitive, you don't feel good about yourself.
No doubt.
It's been almost the entire Eagles season. While you were doing it stack in September, which thank God you did do stack in September because you've been having fall off November. But
stack in September is always big.
It is big, but you guys have had the struggles throughout the year, even in all the wins. Everybody's like, that's one of the most boring games. You don't feel good about the Eagles coming off that win, especially because you guys are Super Bowl contenders. You're expected to win the Super Bowl. But dude, if you get Brandon Graham in there getting 2 sacks, that feels good.
Yeah.
Grandpa coming in with 2 sacks. That's
yeah.
Cool. You got Jalen Hurts, who is he efficient? Did he fall off? He has one of the best. I think that was the number 1 passing rating so far this season.
No, he had a perfect passer rating earlier in the year.
That's what he had.
This one was close. I don't buy passer ratings as much because. One, it doesn't make sense. If you throw an incompletion, how can you have a perfect passer rating? Statistically. But I think passer rating is big on touchdowns, which is important, but he didn't throw the ball that much against the Raiders. So it's weird to have if you only have 12 completions, it's just a little weird. And the yards were pretty good for how many completions he had, but still not over 185 or whatever. So that's weird. He definitely played great. But the passer rate is just an odd statistic in my opinion. But yeah, they haven't had many games where they've won by more than 1 score. I think out of their 9 wins, maybe only 2. Yeah. I guess.
One of them was the Giants.
Maybe 3. Yeah, one of them was the Giants. This was Raiders. Maybe the Bucs game. Although the Bucs came back at the end.
Yeah, I thought that they came back.
Yeah, they only beat the Bucs by 6, so I don't want to look back the entire schedule, but yeah, it's been a struggle to beat teams, and obviously give the Eagles credit too. They have the hardest schedule this season in the NFL, and it's been tough. Even some of the teams they should have beat for sure, like the Bears, they should have beat Denver when they did too. Those are still really good teams, so it's a tough act.
Yeah. I mean, well, the Rams technically was 2 scores, but that was a weird game, so I wouldn't count that because of what happened there towards the end there.
No, Rams was 7. You're right. You're right.
You're right. You're right. That was one.
And
score,
even if the Eagles
It
kicked
did
the
bad
extra point, even if the Eagles kicked the extra point after that, it would have been 8, and that's still one. So yeah, that's crazy. I don't. Yeah, weird.
So are you back on it? Do you believe that the Eagles season could, like, Super Bowl is still in your grasp? Would you say?
It's grasp was an interesting word that you chose. I'll answer it this way if this makes sense. The Eagles can win the Super Bowl this year. It's going to be very difficult. They're going to have to stick with protecting the football, defense playing at a top 3 level, which they can, and running the ball better than what they have, even though it's picked up a little bit and the O-line is run blocked a little better. So can they win the Super Bowl? Yes. It's going to be very hard, and the margins are even thinner than last year, it seems, but they can, do those things. Defend like crazy, which they have, protect the football, which they mostly have, pick up the running game a little bit, which is yet to be seen. They can. It's going to be hard. The Rams are very good. But it doesn't seem like anybody's great.
That's like the one team.
It doesn't seem like anyone's great in the NFL this year, so it's weird. And even though the Eagles have struggled, I don't think anybody wants to see them in the playoffs, especially come to Philadelphia with
No.
I don't think the Eagles are going to get the 2 seed. We'll see. I think they're going to be locked in at 3, and the team that comes in, to Philly for the wild card game, no one wants to come into Philly for that. So we'll see. It's they're still the defending champs. That adds something, but their margins are slim. And a lot slimmer than it should. Definitely, what I should say is a lot slimmer than it should be for what they have on this team, talent-wise and personnel.
Yeah, it's crazy that there's probably going to be an 11-win team that might not make it to the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah, in the NFC.
Which
a lot of
the Giants were a 9-win team when we made it into the playoffs the year that we did.
Yes.
Which so some years it's just like that. How do you feel about the Chiefs being eliminated, though? Does that do anything for you?
Well, it's an interesting question. They are, even with Mahomes, and I'm sorry to hear about his ACL, and MCL too, I think. That sucks. The thing about the Chiefs is even with a healthier, I guess he was hobbled a little bit going into that game with the knee. They still weren't good. If they snuck into the playoffs, it still would have been tough for them to make the playoffs. Even if they beat the Chargers a few days ago and they somehow sneak into the playoffs, there are going to be a lot of teams that don't want to play them, respectfully, of course. Talent-wise, they're just not anything like what they offensively, just a shell of those teams in the past. And I just don't think they would have been good enough to make a run. But obviously, they're out of the playoffs for the first time since 2014, I think. They need to, Brett Veach, he's got to change some things up on the offense. I like Worthy. I like Rashee Rice. I think they really thought those guys were going to replace prime Tyreek Hill, prime Kelsey too, I guess, going forward with the offense. It isn't the case. It's hard. And obviously, they won the Super Bowl after Tyreek left. They're missing their Tyreek Hill. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs?
I think that the team is maybe finally at a point where you have to do a little bit of rebuilding, like an actual rebuild, But I mean, I do think with Patrick Mahomes, which since he got injured so late, I don't know when they're going to have him back next year, It might be like one of those, like when Tom Brady tore his ACL, and it was kind of like they were going into the season
right.
You just have to take a year off, which, hey, the Giants fans have taken about 10 years off, so sorry, Chiefs. I don't know, man. I wouldn't say I like to see it. I think everybody wants the parity in the NFL.
Yeah.
But it is kind of sad when it seems like a dynasty might be coming to an end. It's I mean, if I was the Broncos or the Chargers or even a Raiders fan, I would be finally, but
definitely.
It's also it's sad to see an era kind of fall apart. And I think Travis Kelce, I don't even know if he's going to be in the NFL. Nonetheless, on the Chiefs.
It's a good point. I think he retires.
Yeah, and it's a sad way to go, man. It is a sad way to go.
Yeah.
That being said, is there, just because we're kind of like talking loosely about what's
Right.
going on in the NFL right now, because this is also the first time that we're not going to have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship for I think also since 2017 or something.
Yeah, I guess that Cincinnati year
We've had one or the other, yeah.
They beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And also Joe Burrow's eliminated. I saw that stat that Josh Allen has only been eliminated by Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow.
Yeah, interesting.
Playoffs, and they're both not going to be in there. So, what AFC team are you the most afraid of? Is my question to you.
You would have to say the Bills, I guess. Josh Allen is special. James Cook, that duo has been great together. Their defense isn't that good. Josh Allen doesn't have great playmakers. This is the year that the Bills have to do it. Everything is looking the right way. Baltimore, I don't think is going to make the playoffs either.
No.
So Lamar's not even a threat. I think the Bills. I think they're the scariest. I like New England, but still young, still so young. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good for their defense. I think the Bills. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I think I'm going Bills too. Even though the Broncos just had a pretty commanding win over the Packers finally, I feel like they've been in these close games with bad teams and have pulled away. But I don't fully believe in the Bo Nix experience. I think they have a great defense too, and obviously they have a great defense in Denver, and they have great playmakers too around Bo Nix. So, I think it's really a toss up between New England and the Bills.
Yeah.
And I think if the Patriots won that game against the Bills, it looked like they were going to dominate them in the first half, I think the Patriots would be both of our first answer. Do you disagree with that?
Possibly. The only thing that stinks, so it would be interesting because it probably would have been a convincing win in Buffalo, and that would have been their second win against the Bills. From a stat and practical standpoint, yes, I agree with that. At the same time, if New England had to play the Bills again, and obviously it would be in New England in the playoffs, it's tough to beat a team 3 times. It's tough to beat a guy like Josh Allen in a big situation like that. Hard to say. I also don't think McDermott's a good coach, though. And I think Vrabel's a better coach as well.
Great coach. Yeah.
I think statistically, yes. Experience-wise and toughness-wise for Allen, who wants to get to a Super Bowl, no, if that makes sense. But yeah, I see both ways for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see, and I think your NFC team that you're most scared of is the Rams. I think everybody would say that, because I just think that
Rams are good.
Matthew Stafford's, MVP this year, and Puka Nacua is just unbelievable.
Devontae Adams' hamstring, though, that's a little concerning for them.
Is that totally what? Just knocked out for a few weeks?
Yeah, I think it's week to week. But at his age and hamstring, the one thing we know about hamstrings, it's a lingering injury. So that would be a concern. Kyron Williams, though, very nice running back who puts the ball on the turf a lot. Blake Corum's a good backup back too. So yeah, the Rams think that he's going to play against Seattle. I don't think that's going to happen. Devontae Adams. So that's a good game.
Week, man.
Yeah, that's a good
game. I'm excited
game
for that game. All right, you ready to preview next week's games?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Jeremy, your Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Washington Commanders.
Yes.
What is that spread? Do you know it?
I don't know it, actually. This is tough because I don't think Washington's good. And I don't think Vegas thinks they're good, but I think more people are believing, especially after a win, especially after the Denver game where they were a 2-point conversion away. I think that's still lingering with them. I'll go Eagles minus. Oh, but a lot of them have been high, though. I'll try to go with the flow then. I'll go Eagles minus 6.5.
Nailed it. Freaking nailed it, dude.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was going to start off with 3.5, and then I thought, no, Vegas has been very high with these, and this is also to win. So I went to 5.5, and I thought, this is to win the division for the Eagles. I'll add another point. I was going to add 2 points, but I don't know. It was between 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. I guess 7.5 doesn't make as much sense. So interesting.
I like it. Well, where do you see this game going, Jeremy?
It's a good question. I think I just don't think Washington's good. Their defense is awful. Mariota's been okay-ish when he's played, but I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. When he's running the ball like he did against your Giants last week, I think that helps. I think for any quarterback who doesn't throw for a lot of passing yards, if they can rush for, I guess, around 40 yards a game too, that's going to help you. I don't think it's enough. Eagles defense has been playing really well too the last several weeks, overall this year as well, after they found themselves early on in the season. I'll go Eagles. I think they found themselves a little bit. I'll go Eagles 28, Washington 13.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Cover that spread. I like that too. The way I see it is I really do think that you guys had a get-right game. I think you guys got right back to it. And I also think that Washington sucks. I thought that the Giants would cream them.
Me too.
I thought there was a good chance the Giants just won out our last 4 games and just ruined our awful season.
I lost Pick'em this week, Sean, by 1 game, and one of the games I picked was Giants over Washington. So sad.
Yeah. Well, I got this free bet by guessing the first or last touchdown score, and it was like $132. So I was like,
okay.
Well, you know what? I feel good about the Giants this week. So I did a whole parlay. I had Jackson Dart rushing yards, Jackson Dart passing yards, Giants to beat the Commanders. And I also had them getting over 23.5 points, which they should have done if they were going to beat them. You know?
Right.
But that was to win $700, and that's why you don't believe. First off, stop betting with your heart. Like every game that I've made money on the Giants this year, I have not touched the money lines. I have not touched the spreads because I'm like, you know what, I can account for like this player doing this and just doing this because I know the game plan.
Right. But
the Giants will find a way to screw it up, which they did. So thank you, Giants. Thank you so much. I think Washington does have fight, and honestly, this might sound weird, but I think by far, and like we've seen it, like a healthy Mariota is a lot better than like injured Jaden Daniels.
That's what a lot of people are saying. That's a good point you're making. A lot of people are saying that this week. I think I agree.
Plus revenge game for Marcus Mariota.
In the Eagles' sake, it doesn't usually matter because the Eagles will make anybody look like a superstar regardless of injury, although the defense is playing really well. It's an interesting point. It is in Washington, too. Important to note that dump of a stadium. I think that gives them an advantage, so yes.
You know what? That might have made me sway it, too. I feel like the Commanders are trying to play spoiler, even though there's very small chance the Eagles actually miss the playoffs. But it could at least hurt their ego after they just had a get-right game. So I think it's going to be an ugly win for the Eagles. I think they cover the spread, though. I think
guaranteed. I would agree, ugly win. Even at 20.
Philly.
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead. No,
Wait,
go ahead.
I'm going to finish it. 27 Philly. I'm going to do 21 Commanders.
Oh, wow. Don't cover.
It's close. I thought I was going to make them cover, but then if they don't cover, that makes it a little uglier. And I feel like it'll be ugly. Ugly. I think the Eagles are going to look like they're going to win the game the whole time.
I agree.
They're not going to dominate the way that
right, and that contributes to ugliness. That's what I was going to say before your score prediction. Regardless if it is an ugly game, there are going to be a lot of things in between that make it ugly, even if it isn't like close. If you get what I mean.
I do get you, and I think that Eagles fans, and I know this is a narrative. And I'm not saying it's terribly a bad thing, but I think you guys are a little spoiled, you know?
Oh, totally.
Like, even, like A.J. Brown had a sick game, which I would still be excited about if, like, my number one wide receiver who's been struggling had a sick game and that loss against the Bears, which obviously, like, you should be upset about that loss. But, like, take some of those victories a little bit. I was
at that game.
Try to enjoy it. Yeah, dude, Black Friday. That was a Black Friday. Man.
It's like the worst game they've ever played, yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. All right. Anything else you want to talk about the Commanders-Eagles game there? Or?
No, I just add to, and I don't think this helps Eagles fans. You are right about the spoiledness. This is kind of how they act, though, and this is how we act, even when we aren't coming off a Super Bowl too. So that's another just knock on the fan base. But yeah, I agree. It's not going to be pretty, and I think there's going to be some ugliness, but it might not be that close in score. But that doesn't mean that it was commanding like it should be.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No, I feel like I always say it's just in my mind. I hear that joke all the time, and I heard it during the broadcast 3 times, which they're they have a commanding sense of that O-line. You see what I did there?
Some of those guys run with that. It's awful.
I think that was Jonathan Vilma and
yes.
Kenny Albert. And Jonathan Vilma is a cheesehead,
worst ever,
cheesy man.
And Kenny's so good too. I feel bad for Kenny.
I like Kenny Albert. Yeah, I feel like they do that, man. They try to have one good guy that's
yes, to balance out right,
and one crap guy. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. These are also both at the same time. So you want to do the Chargers or Chargers, Cowboys, or Vikings, Giants? Which one do you want to talk about first?
You tell me. We can start off with your Giants if you want.
Yeah. What do you think the spread is? The Vikings are coming to MetLife. And I think, the Giants have played the Vikings 3 years in a row.
You're right. In New York, and last year was in New York too, right?
Yeah, it was.
And the year before,
it's the first game of the season, we were in our Century Reds.
Right,
Sam
right.
Darnold. Thank God, J.J. McCarthy looked so good in preseason. He gets injured. We're playing Sam Darnold. That guy's seeing ghosts.
Crazy. You're right. Holy smokes, that is crazy how that worked out. Wow.
Yeah, and it ruined the Century Red jerseys. That's what sucks when you have this already ugly jerseys.
Yes.
But if we had the game of our lifetime, people would probably feel good about those jerseys and want to get them. But they're ugly, and we had one of the most atrocious games. So it's
that's the thing too. The Eagles rocked in 07, the opener against the Lions. They rocked their yellow and blue jerseys. And look it up. It's something. The Eagles dropped 55 points on the Lions that game and won. And everybody hates the jerseys. And I'm like, guys, we had one of our best games ever, but that's for another
I remember
story.
those jerseys. I do remember those jerseys.
Definitely ugly.
What do you think the spread is, though?
This is interesting because Minnesota's playing good ball. I like their defense. Brian Flores has done a good job. I don't think they're that good. Obviously, they're not that good. But I don't think the Giants want to win this game either. I don't think Vegas is – maybe Vegas is putting stock into that. I'll go Vikings minus – I think I'm going to respect the Giants a little bit. I'll go Vikings minus 5.5.
That's actually disrespectful, dude.
Is it?
Vikings minus 3.
Wow.
Which, I think, the Vikings were shut out, and I think it was one of the first teams in however long or maybe ever to get shut out and then shut out a team the following week, which they did with the Commanders. But if you think about it, the Vikings are hungry for the NFC Beast blood. The Vikings are just slaughtering the beasts of the NFC East because the Commanders obviously shut out, destroyed them. Cowboys, they kind of looked dominant in that game all the way through. I think Javonte Williams got that first touchdown, injured his shoulder, and then from there I think it was kind of in the Vikings territory. Being home here has not really made a difference for the Giants, obviously.
Yeah.
We've had, we did have, our 2 wins were at home, Chargers and Eagles. Eagles, yeah.
Yes, New York.
But
Thursday night.
Yeah, but I don't feel great about this one, man. I just don't feel good. Brian Flores too is going to be. I feel like he makes it difficult on any quarterback, but a rookie quarterback. So I'm kind of nervous to see how Jackson Dart does there. But I'm also excited to see how he will overcome it.
Interesting.
I think he's going to be using his legs again. Abdul Carter had the best week of practice, and he had his best game.
Had
so
a
let's
good
hope
game
he
last
also,
week, yeah.
again, has the best week of practice. Because I'm sick of them slandering his freaking name because he's actually played really well. Yeah, did he get benched for a quarter or whatever? Yeah. Has he not had the sacks numbers? Yeah, whatever. But he's had the pressures. The amount
he
of
played well
pressures,
in the first half too. I think his play dipped a little bit after that for a little bit, but first half of the season, sacks weren't there. But the pressures, he was probably top 3 midway through the season pressures.
Yeah, he was still the favorite for defensive rookie of the year, and I think that's fallen down. Nick Emanwari is great, and so is Carson Schwarzenegger. But I digress. He played awesome. And that's what on a lost season you're looking for. You're looking for those younger players to develop. You're looking for your dominant players to keep dominating. And Abdul Carter, he had the 2 forced fumbles. One of them, dude, I don't know if you saw the play. It didn't count. I feel like not enough people talked about it because I've watched a couple things that covered the game, and nobody talked about Abdul Carter's 6 strip, catches the ball, like, and it was like that wasn't like a hey I hit the guy, like he was looking to strip him. He was looking for a turnover because we can't get it with our secondary. He forced 2 of them. Right. He gets the ball. He gets up, pitches it to Javon Holland or Paulson Adebo, who then pitches it to Javon Holland or Paulson Adebo. Those 2 both touched it, and they almost got the touchdown and got into tying the game, keeping the game competitive. It was awesome. It was awesome to see. He had a 6 sack, another strip. It was just, he looked good all game. And he looked like the defensive player of the year. He looked like the Abdul Carter that we want. Unfortunately, he was touched down when he recovered that fumble, so nothing really counted in that sick play. But, I think Abdul Carter, especially because J.J. McCarthy has been, he had a great game against the Cowboys. Matt Eberflus barely blitzed him during that last game. And the key, what has been shown this year, which there's enough tape, is that J.J. McCarthy crumbles under pressure. And we have a great pass rush. So that's where I feel like we could win this. Like, I don't think, even though I don't believe in the Giants, no matter how great it looks, I also always feel like we could pull stuff out. Because of the Broncos game where we dominated, because of the Eagles game, because of the Chargers game. I think the Giants have a chance here. I'm gonna go close game. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't want this. But I actually, in my heart of hearts, think this is going to happen. And I think it's going to be Giants 24. And I think it's going to be Vikings 20.
Mm-hmm.
Although we did waive Younghoe Koo, and I actually don't even know who our kicker is right now, to be honest.
You guys are better off without a kicker than Younghoe Koo.
Yeah, the old Charlie Brown.
Yes. Let's say.
What do you think about this game?
I agree with you that the Giants, I think, if I'm just doing pick 'em, I would say Giants. I don't think that's what they want to do. I think that they wouldn't
not really what I want to do.
I think that I think that winning here would be such a slap in the face of the fan base. I don't think Minnesota's that good. It's in New York. It is in New York, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I think something's going to go wrong with the Giants, just personnel-wise, whether it's someone dropping a few throws from Dart or whatnot, what seems to kill them in other games. I think that's going to continue. I'll give a little more love to Minnesota's defense. I think that will help as well. Right. I think it's interesting too because the spread isn't that deep. So I'd want the Giants to cover, but I'd have them covering if it were a few more points. I'll go I'll go 2016 Vikings.
And who's winning that one? Vikings?
Vikings. I wouldn't be surprised if New York won, honestly. I just think a few things will happen personnel-wise on that offense where the Giants will just sting throughout the games, and I think that is a good result for the Giants long term, more than if they win. So yeah, I think I'll go that way. Wouldn't be surprised though if the Giants won.
No, I mean honestly, the Giants especially I thought maybe we'd beat the Commanders, and then I'd be like, hey, whatever. At this point, we probably won't have the number 1 overall pick. Get a few moral victories.
Totally right.
But now that we still have sole possession of the number 1 overall pick, I'm like, keep it coming, keep it coming. Just hold on to it. It'll make the GM job and that head coaching job, I think, premier number 1. And that's what I want because the season's been over. And as much as I want to see Jackson Dart do good, I want to see moral victories for people who are playing hard like Andrew Thomas and Preston Burns. It's more important. So, more important to lose this game. and play hard, like we have, like be in the game till the end, like even versus the Commanders. Yeah, I mean we had that garbage time touchdown, like which you mentioned, but at least we were in it the whole game, which made the game at least more watchable. I watch every Giants game from start to finish, regardless, because I'm a sicko. But yeah, let's just be competitive and show some good things, and then lose the game ultimately. Last one of the slate, we got the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Dallas Cowboys at a 1:00 Eastern time, which I feel like this happens. Yeah. What do you think that spread is in Dallas? Chargers, good. They've been injured, but they still find ways to win. They had a sloppy, ugly win against the Chiefs, but nonetheless beat the Chiefs, who the Cowboys just beat on Thanksgiving. What do you think?
This is a game
that spread is.
I'll go spread. It's in Dallas. A 1:00 game for Dallas. That is, wow, that's different. Chargers -2.5? No.
Actually, flipperooski.
Yeah.
Cowboys -2.5.
Yeah, home team. Interesting.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yep.
How do you see this game going? Because honestly, Cowboys are essentially eliminated. But
Cowboys
I don't
are
think that's
dead.
going to stop them from fighting. I don't think that's going to stop them from trying to play a great game.
Yeah, possibly, for sure. Especially on offense, where I think the offense hasn't been that good overall. And weren't good against Minnesota. So maybe they continue to fight a little bit. I just think they're done. I think that, they have the talent to beat the Chargers coming into Dallas too. I think they're just done so, and their defense is just awful, and it's gonna be a loss. So I'll go. At this point of the season, their backs are against the wall. They're not a team that's going to fight back too much. I'll go Chargers. I got to consider this Dallas defense with points. I'll go Chargers 31, Dallas 28.
Okay.
Something
that's
that.
the thing. Because the Cowboys, even as bad as their defense has been, their offense is still ranked first, second. They're in the top 5 in almost every single category.
True.
Dak Prescott, I think, is the number 1 passer right now, and I think George Pickens is still the 3rd overall receiving yards leader. And Javonte Williams, I think, is still top 5 in rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great offense, and even their O-line has really come together. Like Tyler Booker was a great pick for him. Tyler Smith is still good. Cooper Beebe has been pretty solid too.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is great, which honestly makes me feel good about Brian Schottenheimer, even in the shot season. I honestly
how good do you feel about Schottenheimer? Like what does that mean to you?
I don't think there's any question about bringing him back next year.
Okay.
And I think that Jerry, he's fired coaches that have after making it to the playoffs just because they fail in the playoffs. But I think the defense has been such a hindrance to the offense this year, and the offenses look good, which Brian Schottenheimer is the offensive guy. I kind of like the messages he's been sending to I don't know. He doesn't seem like a total flub, and
yeah, so far.
What he's done, Matt Eberflus sucks, and also
Totally.
the Jerry Jones's decisions on the defensive side of the ball, personnel wise, has also sucked. So, but I think Chargers defense also has been pretty awesome. But the Cowboys pass D sucks. I think this is going to be an over game for sure. I'm going to go 35 Chargers. I think this is going to be a fun shootout. It's going to be an early. It'll be on red zone. They'll be back and forth, and I think Cowboys. I'm going to go 32. 32, man. Dude, we didn't even talk about how Brandon Aubrey missed those 2 kicks, huh?
Crazy. Of course, in Dallas, obviously. But yeah, that is surprising. I feel like that had to have happened eventually. But yeah, this guy has always been automatic. You wouldn't think that he'd, especially one of them, I forget the second one. One of them he pushed pretty badly. But
Oh, it looked bad.
yeah.
I mean, he ran that successful trick play earlier in the game, and I remember when I saw it, I was like, this is a guy who I feel like you don't want to be running a trick play. You know, like he seems like such an important part of that team as a kicker. Like you don't want to risk that. And then after that, misses 2 kicks. I don't think it had to do with that. Like it didn't look like he got shaken up on the trick play.
It's interesting to note though.
I mean, I wouldn't risk that. I would not risk Brandon Aubrey's leg.
It's funny too because kickers obviously can be very valuable to a team, but he seems like especially valuable. Like even though Dallas does have a lot of good players on their team, he's probably, I don't know if I should say this, he's probably a top 5 player or a top 5 off
valuable.
A top.
I think
behind Dak, behind Pickens, behind CD. Offensively,
I'd put Quinn Williams.
No, I'm talking about just offensive players.
Offensive, yeah.
I think he's 4, 5 at the least. I guess you could put Williams in front of him, but I don't know. I don't know. He's the point. The point is he is very valuable to them.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Like PFT from Pardon My Take. He was talking about if like the whole NFL did a redraft that Brandon Aubrey would be taken in the first round and everybody roasted him for it.
Well, that's not true. That's stupid.
The NFL players.
That is
I think,
stupid.
Dude, the best kicker in the league that until the last game seemed automatic from 60 yards, dude. Like, that is game changing. And
it is. It is, but but when they don't make the kicks like we saw, it's also game changing in the wrong way. And I just saw that that's a Mets. My goodness.
Yeah, no, trust
my
me, dude.
goodness.
I don't even really.
I know.
You know, your
pinstripes
I don't like the Mets enough. Yeah,
your pinstripes are red. Just like your Sixers, whatever colors, and just like your Eagles, midnight green and white.
No.
But just going back to like taking the like, that's insane. Like kickers could be great. Cameron Dicker, he was in the Eagles building too. He's amazing. But like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But in terms for Dallas valuable players, I'd have him around 4 or 5.
So he was cut by you guys, Cameron Dicker?
He was. We had Elliott was hurt for a week, and we brought in Dicker, and he helped us win a game against Arizona, our Super Bowl year, the first one that we played like crap against Arizona, and then we dropped him and went to the Chargers. He was great at Texas.
Yeah.
I remember watching him in Texas. He was unbelievable there.
Yeah, Dicker the kicker, dude, and he makes the sickest ads, dude. I don't know if you saw the last Pro Bowl vote ad. That he
I don't think I
did.
Year. I'll have to check it out.
He does one every single year, dude. This one is really, it's like a whole like conspiracy thing, and it's, dude, it's very well done.
He's deserving. I know he plays in climate controlled in LA, but he's amazing. But yeah,
statistically the most accurate kicker as of right now.
Yes.
So.
I think under 50 yards, he was 101 of 103 as of last week.
Wow.
What the? Crazy. The
Giants need a kicker. The Giants
need a kicker.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I don't think we even know who our kicker is right now. So
yeah,
we'll see. But I think that's an episode, Jeremy. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this bad boy up?
Did you give what was the score you gave for Dallas? Dallas Chargers.
35-32 Chargers.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'm thinking it's an over game, man.
That would be very
over.
To
a field goal that Brandon Aubrey misses. And can't
yes. Yes, seriously.
All this kicker talk.
That would be crazy. Chargers are playing really good defense.
Yeah.
In a way, I think that their defense isn't as good as they are. It's still very good, but I don't know. I think other offensive have helped them out too, which you could debate who that is. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is an episode. Jeremy, any last laments here?
No, it's we have some interesting stuff going on with, like you said, with end of division games in the season for the NFC East when they probably should have been. Most of them should have been earlier. I know the NFL thought the Eagles Washington would be, battling out for the division this late. They were wrong. They were very wrong. This game on Saturday in prime time, they'd like another two teams to be playing, but I guess you can't flex out. Well, I guess you can flex a day. Yeah, you can flex a day. I'm surprised. Is it too early to flex? I don't think so. I think they're.
Yeah,
but,
I think they just wanted it. Man.
Yeah, NFC
also,
East.
Didn't somebody not know that they're like, we got a short week, and somebody's like, what?
Yes, that was.
Play on Saturday?
That was more. I think what was more like the Eagles have had this. They've had the most short weeks I think ever, and I think that was more like what, not again. But that was in the post game I think. But that was funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, don't forget it is a short week for the Eagles. So if you're ready to tune in, that is on Saturday. Don't miss it. There's no college football. Instead, you have Marcus Mariota and Jalen Hurts, and also Packers-Bears, which is going to be a really good Saturday night game. And it might actually determine who the Eagles end up playing in the first round of the playoffs. So
possibly
also a fun game to watch.
Possibly.
Yeah. And seeding stuff. All right, well, that's a wrap. Like and subscribe. Comment. Who do you think the Giants should sign as their next kicker? Who do you think should we draft a kicker with the first overall pick next year? Who knows? Maybe we should. If we have Joe Shane again, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities because that guy is a stinker. But that is an episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
I would add two.
Yeah.
Probably not the best time. Probably the worst time to add. If you do fire Joe Shane and you have a new GM and a new head coach, those guys always want their own pick quarterback, which would, I guess, add to the interesting dynamic in New York. But they also would be coming to a scene where they have, it seems like, a quarterback in place, so maybe they would withdraw that thinking with only 1 year under his belt. Another thing to consider, though. Another thing to consider.
I don't think John Mara is going to hire a GM or a coach that doesn't believe in Jackson Dart. But we'll talk about
Agreed. And I'll add really quickly. Yeah. These guys always want their own. That's why it's just such a weird. It's a weird position New York's in because it's not like a typical firing where you don't have a quarterback already in place. But we'll talk about that next week.
I will tell you this: Jackson Dart, for the amount of swag and awesomeness that he has, the fan base loves to go to such a dork like flipping Fernando. It would be
something.
A huge cultural shift, like seeing Fernando and Cam Scatterby together.
Yeah. Dart. I'll add too. Dart gives good press conferences. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, I do like him. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much.